Welcome to the Student Voice. I'm Brandon Watson. Geometrically sound space stations, surly robots, giant mecha dinosaurs, and finding love. These are just a few things Jesse Baruffi discusses in his first novel, Dr. Otto von Trapezoid and the Empress of Thieves. Mr. Baruffi, how are you?
I'm doing pretty well. Glad to be here.
Now tell us about this book.
All right. It's the story of Otto von Trapezoid, a mad scientist who lives on a space station with an army of robots whose sole goal is to conquer the world. And then at one point he attempts a plan where he summons a giant orbital space death laser and tries to blackmail the world with it. Now at the same time, Esmeralda Santa Monica, the Empress of Thieves, hijacks the Louvre itself. And both of them attempt to blackmail the UN with their evil schemes at the same time. However, because they end up doing this at the same time, they end up foiling each other's plans. This leads to them trying to get revenge on each other and having a fake date, during which they try to kill one another. But eventually they find out they have a lot in common. So it's really about two supervillains falling in love with each other and trying to take over the world together.
Now this is coming from personal experience.
Oh, I wish. I've never gotten quite that far.
So you don't have a space station and an army of surly robots to...
Not yet, but you know, if enough people buy the book, maybe.
You're working on it. So tell me, you're not originally from Chattanooga.
Was my accent gave me away?
Something like that.
No, I'm originally from New Jersey, but I moved here about 8 years ago. Actually, it was I'm good friends with Jason Mink from Infinity
Flux. Absolutely.
Yeah, we've been best friends since we were kids, and I moved here partially because he was my friend, and then partially because I got a job here in the area as well.
Yeah, you started working here at Chat Steak, right?
That's right. I was an English teacher, and then I was manager at the Reading and Writing Center for about 5 years.
5 years. Now, how was your experience here as a teacher?
Oh, that was probably some of the most fun I've had at a job. Honestly, I really liked working in the Writing Center, liked working with students and helping them with their writing skills and things like that.
So did they in any way shape your story in your book at all?
I don't know about my experiences here too much, but I will say that working with students and helping with people's writing actually does improve your own writing, mine anyway. Just when I would see mistakes in other people's work, I would learn how to correct them in my own. So that in that way it was actually very helpful to me.
So you learned through teaching.
Oh
in
yeah.
Such a way. What were some of your setbacks to getting published?
Well, I spent a lot of years trying to do comic books actually, and so I've written a lot of scripts and spoken to some artists and gotten some work commissioned and things like that. But unfortunately, not much ever came of it. Mostly just got rejected, or the artist flaked out at the last minute. And for a while, so I gave up on the comics thing, and I decided to go back to this novel idea, which I'd had maybe about 10 years ago. And I knew it was something that could be really good if I could do a good job of writing it. And then in the last year and a half, I just sat down and I did it.
So from the process of getting published, were you well received? Were there just people clamoring to get you get your manuscript in, or?
Well, I had originally spoken to an agent, and that was how I was able to get published. My agent's name is Mark Gottlieb, and he's with the Trident Media Group, and he was very excited about the book, and he thought it could sell really well. So he went out and he talked to a lot of different publishers. In the end, we went with Curiosity Quills Press, the publisher of the book now, and they've been really great to me, really great to work with, really cool people. So that part of it was actually not as painful as you might think, because they're kind of a smaller press, and as such they have sort of a more family-friendly kind of vibe with each other, and so that way, in that respect, it worked out well.
Now, your official release was what, 2-3 weeks ago?
Yeah, October 5th.
October 5th. How was your reception once you got the book released on Amazon and at Infinity Flux? How was the response?
Well, so far it's been pretty good. I don't know exactly about sales numbers yet. They haven't told me, and I haven't been able to check them. But everyone I know who's read it certainly has enjoyed it so far, and that's sort of anecdotal, I know. But it's been reviewed by several people, various bloggers and things like that. And so far, all the reviews except one had been really good and that one was just okay. So
Yeah, okay.
I think for the most part it's been positively received by everyone who's read it.
Did you have high expectations for it, or you're just like, I'm just going to do this thing and get it out, and it is what it is? And
Yeah. I just wasn't sure what to think. I mean, I believe in the book. I think it's really funny and I'm really proud of it, and I think if people read it, they will enjoy it if it's their cup of tea. If you like cool stories about dinosaurs fighting zeppelins or true love, either way, we got both. But
a little bit, there's something in there for everybody, is what you're saying.
Exactly. The main thing is, of course, just getting word out, because obviously there's so much competition and so many books out there, and I'm just a new guy. So
New kid on the block.
Yeah.
Well, it's a very phenomenal read. And what advice do you have for the aspiring writers here in the trenches?
Okay, I would tell people that the best thing to do is first to have a plan. Just have some idea of where you're going with it, what you want to do, how far you want to take it, what you want the structure and style to be. And then once you've actually, got your plan and you've completed the work, have a plan to get it out there. Like my plan was to get an agent and go the traditional publishing route. Some people like self-publishing, and I guess that's okay too. But you have to know what you're getting into, study it, look into the business side of it. And of course, all the obvious stuff like, read a lot, practice a lot, stuff like that. But the main thing is just have a plan.
Have a plan. That's good advice. Jesse, man, it's been great. I really loved your reading back in early days of October, and I really liked the book, and I highly recommend it for anybody watching. Just pick this book up; it's great. And please come back with any updates on the future books, any works in progress. We'd love to hear it, man.
All right, thank you.
All right. And thank you for watching Student Voice. Keep in mind, Christmas is around the corner, and what better gift for your socially inept mad scientist than Jesse Baruffi's Handbook to Supervillain Dating, Dr. Otto Von Trapezoid and the Empress of Thieves. Pick it up at Infinity Flux Cards, Comics, and Games, or order it online at Amazon. This has been the Student Voice. Stay awesome, Chattanooga.